I'd like to call the Destin Fire Control District Board of Fire Commissioners to order. We're at 848 Airport Road here in Destin. The date is August 10th, 2021. Time is 5:30 p.m. This meeting is open to the public. And at this time, Chief, we'd like to do some employee recognition.
Yes, sir. We have 3 employees that just were released from probation, completed their time, accomplished all that we've asked of them during the probationary period, and we'd like to recognize them. We have 3 of them tonight. Should be able to catch 2 of them for sure that came in from off duty, and then the other one that's working tonight is on a call. So as soon as he comes back, if he's okay with the board, we'd like to recognize them. But the first one we'd like to recognize is firefighter Heidenreich. Would you catch Holly? Yep. Come on in, Holly.
Hey.
So firefighter Heidenreich came from us from Naples, moved all the way up here to be a part of our family. She's completed her probationary period in order to become adopted. So now she's part of our family. She kind of takes us on, and we're truly blessed to have Holly. She brings a lot to the table and contributes significantly to our department. So thank you, Holly. So if you would come on up, please, ma'am. Oh, you got to face the camera. I'm sorry.
Oh, there's a camera.
Oh, no, there's a camera. So, well, shake each commissioner's hand.
Yes.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Welcome to the family.
Thank you. Thank you. Yeah. And with that, as we give them shields. So the shields that they wear when on probation clearly identify their own probation. Lets us know when they're working on the fire scene where they are. So it's a yellow shield. We can identify them. Now she becomes part of the rest of the team, so we don't have to necessarily keep tabs on her all the time. We know that she's wearing a black one. She's one of us. She's trained. She's cleared. She's ready to make things happen. So here's your shield, Holly.
Chief.
Yeah, take it with that hand. Shake a hand with this one. Turn this way. Face the camera. I'm going to help you.
Commissioner Green, if you want to move just a little that way. Well, no, and get you in the photo. It's great.
Photo bomb.
Great photo. Great.
I don't know about that. Don't ever not have this. That could get you in trouble. Take it. Yeah. All right.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
Oh, he made it back.
Yep.
Good. Yeah. Good. So the next one is Alden Stat, firefighter Stat. Would you mind joining us up front? Alden comes to us from Gainesville. He was down there working. Wanted to move back up into this area. Yeah, he is a Gator. His girlfriend graduated from the University of Florida, so I think he has to be, whether he wants to be or not. And he comes with experience. Prior to that, he served in the service. He was in the Army, so he brings some of that with him. Some of the discipline that we love to see that kind of contributes to the fire service, transfers right over for us. He's already demonstrated that on numerous occasions, and we're very proud to say he's now part of our family. So Alden, if you wouldn't mind, shake each commissioner's hand, sir.
Congratulations.
Welcome. Congratulations. Welcome to the team.
Thank you. Thank you for your service. Thank you for your service. Part of the family, brother. And here's these pictures. You're a little bit taller than Holly. You might block one of them boys in the back.
That's all right.
With that
It ain't
hand,
about us.
shake my hand with this one. Let's see if we can take a picture.
Make her out of the photo a little too much. Good.
Outstanding. And don't ever be without that. And if I ever ask you for it, you better be able to produce it.
Yes,
So
sir.
now you're part of our family.
Thank you.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
And I would say last but not least, we've got a local kid that we kind of took in off the streets. But he's a local kid, grew up here, lived in Destin all his life, born here. I would say I do know quite a bit of his family, but that's only because he was born and raised in Destin. So a lot of us would know some of his family. Some of us have seen him grow up and play Little League ball, locally. Fred Gill. So anyway, it's a pleasure to be able to recognize Cody Kilpatrick. Firefighter Kilpatrick, would you come in, please? Yes, sir. If you wouldn't mind shaking the commission's hand, sir.
Let's go, Cody.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
Good job. Yeah, he's always wanted to work with us, and if it wasn't for his uncles, he might not have. Yeah, nope, right here, wherever Miss Tammy says you need to step is where we need to step. Yes, sir. You gotta look good too. Suck it up. I mean, help me suck it up. Here, with this hand, and there.
In the camera. Okay, hold on, let me get one with everyone.
Outstanding, good job, Cody.
I don't think we're smart.
Don't ever be without that. Hey, don't ever be without that little coin. All right.
Hey, I'm putting it back on probation.
All right, you
That's too big
swap
a
them out.
smile.
Good job, good job.
That's a good set. Yeah, good girl. I like that. I like that girl.
That's a great group, and, you know, we have hired some that, have come to work for us and left before they completed probation, which is okay. But we really do like to recognize those that complete the probation, because that means they really want to be here. And completing the probation means to be able to make that.
Yes.
Chief, we need a picture of all three.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh, we did.
Yes, ma'am. Yeah, I didn't know if they didn't want, come on, man. Thank you. Stay around, please don't run off. Right out front.
That's why we keep Tammy in the game.
Yeah.
That's why she's here.
Keeps us straight.
Yeah,
Be on
yeah, okay, you can bracket Holly, that'll be all right, she's almost taller than me.
Oh, wow, I got everyone. This is awesome. Okay, got it. Thank you.
Oh, this-
I was like,
Thank you. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Congratulations.
I would have been in
See you guys.
Anyway, I'm very proud of that group of three.
Yeah, good group. Good recruiting class right
Yeah,
there.
and the local, you know, I love to see the local kids kind of come through where they are.
Yeah, I understand we got some good ones that,
We sure do, and I'd like to bring that up. We're not recognizing them just yet, but we have posted on Facebook and shown that we had 4 that was in the paramedic program. They've graduated from the paramedic program.
wow, yeah.
As soon as they pass their national, they'll be operating as medics, and at that point, we'll bring them before the commission.
Cool.
Because we think that's the actual passing of the national exam is a really big deal because it is so difficult. So I want to really be able to recognize that once they accomplish that. But there are 4 that have went through the whole
Tough course,
program.
tough course.
It is, it's a long course.
That's really cool. A lot of dedication to that.
I'm very proud of that group for being able to accomplish it.
How are we doing?
It's
Are
not
we
easy.
looking for a couple more, or are we good for that now?
So I'm glad you asked. So with that said, we, yesterday and today, we're testing a group of 14 candidates. We're looking for 4 slots. We tested 14. We interviewed 10 today. And based upon those interviews and swam them today, we'll be making a hire by the end of the week. Some job offers by the end of the week. That didn't complete. You know, our physical agility is one of the toughest in the region. And we know that, but that's what we're looking for, are those that can complete that physical agility and those that can swim. We're looking for a unique set of candidates that are firefighters, but yet can swim. So we're not just looking for firefighters, so.
Good.
But yes,
Skill set. that
we have,
we're looking for.
I will say we had a very strong, these 14, the 10 that we interviewed are some of the strongest that we've tested before. I mean, they were really strong candidates. I was very impressed with their physical runs yesterday. And it's very difficult. We had one completed in a time that would be representative of a couple that we have that are working here. We hold very highly in their time and how quickly we were able to perform. So strong group. We tested.
Any military background ones?
Yes, a couple, but not all, it's not 50%, but I would say there's 2 or 3 that do have some military background. But yeah, we got a strong group, so I'm glad you brought that up. We didn't have any paramedics test with us. We had a couple that have just completed paramedic class, just like our folks have, which is good. But we look to hire 4, and we think we've got some strong candidates coming up.
Now, out of those 4 that we picked, are they candidates that we can send to paramedic school? That we really want and desire to go
That's
that
part of the
route?
questioning process, so that'll be evaluated, as part of that interview process that we did today. Yeah, we have some strong, strong service. Joe's, part-time employee of Joe's, very strong candidate.
Love it.
I kind of like the route that was taking, that they actually were able to work for Joe, so it kind of gives us that opportunity to have set eyes on them, work with them a little bit, get a feel for the kind of person they are, how they work, show up for time, all that. So I kind of like the fact that one of them did kind of come through that program, well, how we've done that in the past. And the fact we're able to do it again. I think Joe does, and I do, because it gives us an opportunity to really evaluate.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, is that it for that?
Yes, sir, that's it for recognitions right now.
All right, so at this time, I'd like to open the floor for any public comments. Seeing none, of course, close the public comments. We'll move into the chief report. Street safety update, Joe?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I have the first item is the regionals and the nationals. We completed the regionals back in the middle of July, so not too long after our last meeting. And we posted the results on Facebook. I unfortunately can't even remember. We did well.
Yeah.
But that's sort of the dress rehearsal for nationals, which our guys and girls just got back from yesterday. And we had a very small team, all things considered. We only sent 7 people, but some of the best results we've ever had, especially in the open swim. Both of these kids, not even 20 years old of age, or maybe 20. One of them might be turning 20 here soon. Chris Tang, local kid, 15th in the open swim. They scored the top 16, so he scored us
And that's out of what, 80 people in it or something?
Oh, a lot. I would, of the 15 in front of him, I bet you 5 or 6 of those were at Olympic trials. Obviously didn't make it, but missed by hundredths of a second, thousandths of a second. So, and Victoria Orcutt, 5th in the open swim. So I mean, really, really good results. We scored 144 points. We finished 7th in the board relay. Maureen Abita, 1st in the age group swim, 1st in the run, swim, run. She's one of our lieutenants, and Lieutenant Bryce Orchard, who's been training with the younger group since February. Not only did he win the age group and board, he actually got 2nd place in the open board, lost on his timies through little waves, just luck of the ocean. Someone who he had beat in one of the rounds before.
Got the wave.
Just got the wave, and that's the luck of the ocean. Yeah. So we're very happy with those results, and it is a direct reflection of us having access to that pool. One, our guys and girls being able to train there, and 2, being able to recruit from there as well. Coach Brad does a great job with the kids over there, and having the right equipment. You know, we made a big investment on those paddle boards a couple of years ago, and these are the results that we can get having not just saving lives on the beach, but keeping the team motivated, having the good gear. Item number 2, we finished junior lifeguards, 2 sessions, and if I'm not mistaken, it was over 100. It was 100 places, but I cannot remember how many kids overlapped. I did know at one point, and then I forgot, but I think there's like 15 or 16 kids that did both sessions, so we probably had about 80 kids total. And then just looking at our statistics, there's a lot happening in the past, not a lot happening on the beach. That's things we all kind of know, but we're on par, again, on course to have a record year for attendance. But if you have any questions on any of those items, I'd be more than happy to answer.
Well, one thing I haven't noticed yet is any jellyfish. Have you on the beach?
No, I mean, the occasional, not
Every
enough
year.
to put purple flags up and stuff, but
Yeah.
no, I haven't.
This time it's flooded.
Yeah.
Crazy summer.
I will say that we're looking to recognize those that attended and made the regionals and then made the nationals. We look to recognize them at our next meeting. Joe and I had that discussion, but with it being as close as it is, right, so they just come back and then having this meeting, We wanted to kind of give it one meeting and then recognize that group. I also think at the same time, but I want to make sure that we did know, because Joe and I did talk, so the board would know, we are going to bring that group. Some of them going back to college, but we want to bring that group and recognize that group for their accomplishments for sure, and we'll do that at the next meeting. So I
Do we
don't
get the log involved, maybe?
Yep. And then we hope that those other guys that they're looking to take their national this month, so maybe we'll be able to recognize them next month.
Jimmy, we've been reading a lot in the paper and the news about the Walton County beach safety, about the issues they're having over there with people disregarding the red flags and the double red flags and such. And seems like the Walton County commissioners are looking to beef up their program over there. Are we having those issues here as much as they are down there? I mean, they got 26 miles of beach they cover versus us 7.5.
I think we're having those issues. I don't think we're having it to that extent for the exact reason that you're saying. We have, we're sort of condensed. So if you kind of look at, from the East Jetty to the edge of the park, I don't know if there's any more density amount of people stuffed in Linear Beach anywhere else on the Panhandle. So the amount of people we're able to handle that with, we do a pretty good job being persuasive. I do have concerns though that if the public starts to realize that there may not be ramifications for swimming with double red flag, that we might come to that. So, but we're not there yet. We're not there yet.
Well, I want to kind of put it out there that with Walton County commissioners looking at beefing it up, we might look to see doing the same thing here. Because, I mean, we got Joe and he's done a fantastic job.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody could have done better. But when they're talking about putting more people full-time over there, then, I'm sure their TDC is going to have to pick up some of that tab, and we need to be.
Well, they'll pick up all of that tab. So,
we need to
and I say that they have an agreement like we have. It's a little different in the fact that they RFP theirs out, and then it becomes more of a contract than an interlocal agreement like ours is, because the RTDC and county took the approach of an interlocal agreement, which means they'll have to put out for a bid, and then they can apply whatever funds they need to apply for that. RTDD, what Joe and I have run across, and we'll probably continue to run across, whether we push for additional funding and being able to even, let's say, if they went that way to put more year-round guards on, and we were to push for that, we know our TDD sits, and believe the county sits in the same position. They say it's 10% of that one penny, and that's all they're going to provide for the services that life guards in the sheriff's office provide on the water. We think that that's where they've drawn the line here. So whatever that amount of money is, they've already kind of made that call. They're not going to spend any more money than that 10%. And then they fall back and say that's the law.
But they're advertising to bring people here basically almost year round.
That's the other 90%.
Well,
So-
we have another venue in the city of Destin, which our beaches encompass basically the whole city of Destin.
That's correct.
They commit $100,000 a year. They've been doing that for a long time. But
Forever.
there's an opportunity there to maybe get some more from the city as far as supporting this operation, because I just feel it's only fair.
Potentially, the city normally supports us. The city normally supports us, so when we go and ask for more funds, they support us in each and every time when we need anything. They'll talk to the members of the TDD, they'll talk to the director, and try to support us when we do need additional funding. They had conversations as it related to Noriega Point to try to persuade the TDD to help cover that cost, even though it's a city point beach. They asked and kind of helped to push to provide the funding for Noriega Point from the TDD. So that's how the city typically has tried to help us by not adding any additional funding to it, until we try to push to try to get more funding from the TDD. And I'm not saying that Joe and I won't, we always try to push to, because the more funding that comes in, the more lifeguards we put on the beach, more towers we put out, the better the program can be. But where they've always drawn the line on us is that 10%, and then they dole that 10% out between 3 agencies right now. So,
But I sit here with you and
Yes, sir.
Joe and them when we had the table discussion here, just like these past, nobody
Yes, sir.
wanted to take care of that. They were all for us
Right.
doing that.
that's right.
And
Oh, good.
I'm not saying anything here. I'm going to support Joe as much as we can.
I agree.
Just beach safety.
And if we can do,
If we can get him more help, then.
absolutely agree. And if we, and I support it 100%. I'm not sure how they're gonna do it. I'm not sure what they're doing at Walton County. So I have to look into that to see if their interpretation of the state statute is the same as what RTD's interpretation of the state statute is. So we've had a conversation with the individual that wrote the state statute and got it passed, which was currently Representative Congressman Gates. He wrote it when he was a representative at the state. He's the one that pushed that through, and he'll tell you that that is not what he meant, was the 10% of that pay. So, but the
Just something
TDC is
to keep an
wrong.
eye on, and I think we should
I got a question.
stay on top of it.
The TDC, and they might already be doing, I don't know, I'm just sitting here listening to y'all. But the TDC, when they advertise, they send pictures out of the beautiful beaches and they send advertising out for people. Is there a way that we could request and or demand some kind of a plaque that shows the red double flag that, look, guys, we want you to come and enjoy yourself, but if you see these, stay the hell out of the water. They advertise so much of how beautiful it is, but they don't advertise what these guys have to do or what our firefighters have to do to save these lives.
Well, I think
So is there something already in the book, or?
they do an advertisement. They just did one. I saw it at the city meeting one day, that they did a nice video and they're playing it on the TV. I think, are you aware of that?
I seen it.
Yeah.
But I guess what I'm saying is the advertising they put out in general, if they show a big picture of a beautiful beach and it has, could they put something, can we demand it? I don't know. We're here to save lives, number one. Number two is, I've been to a lot of these, condominium projects out here and their beach access, they all don't have signs out there. They all have signs that say private beach, where they say, but could we come up and be a little more proactive and have some signs made and go to every one of these ones that house them and say, hey, guys, please put this at the beach where you go out. So,
If I could, Commissioner,
Yeah,
we've had a beach partner group meeting with the city, TDC, Sheriff's Office, monthly. Our next meeting is in September. And we, SO, and code enforcement with the city are working on getting the beach vendors to somehow trying to get them to fly the flags that we ask them to fly, take them down when we ask them to, and having some sort of form of, uniformity, right? So the flags all look the
you're
same.
talking about the beach vendors such as chair people?
Mhm.
Well, if there's red, double red flag, they shouldn't even be out there themselves, right? I'm just asking.
That's a touchy subject
If
because,
if it's double red and we're saying don't go out there, then why are you being in business in?
Well, don't put the chairs in the water, Mike.
Well,
Still go
you
on the
said-
beach.
No, I know, I'm just asking, I'm just asking.
Yeah.
I get that, but, I guess I'm not more worried about the vendors than I'm worried about the condominiums that's housing all these people. Just as they walk down that little dune to go over to the beach, a sign there that says, if you see these, don't go out there.
yeah, that's exactly what we're trying to accomplish. Is that they'll have that flag in that sign, they'll have it up at this time.
Yeah.
We probably have 90%, it'll be this height, it'll be established for these times, these hours, these dates. Because right now, we probably have 90% compliance. There are some people that, don't listen to what we're doing. They'll do just that. It'll be double red and they'll go, I think it's red. You really don't think that. You just haven't rented a chair in 2 or 3 days and you're just trying to make a buck. And I can appreciate that side of it too, but
Right.
we're trying with the city to make that have a little bit more bite so that everybody is on the same page and we're getting there.
And one more quick question.
Sure.
Do you and your guys have the authority to tell somebody to get the hell out of water?
Well, yeah, I can say that, but it's all bark, no bite.
But the law does.
Correct.
So is that something that we get the law, and I'm just outside the box trying to help you, is that something that we get with our buddies over at the sheriff's department and say, hey, guys, look, how can you help us make it mandatory? We tell them get the hell out of water, they have to get out of water.
I think that's what I hope that's what we're working
Okay.
on. Yeah, I hope that's what we're working
Because some people just don't listen, they don't care who you are, but they listen to the sheriff, they don't care about you.
If I'm not mistaken, and I know you had a question, I'm sorry for jumping in front of it, but South Walton can call a deputy sheriff with their radio, if I'm not mistaken, or somehow they get a hold of deputy sheriff and say, hey, I got an issue with this person in the water, and they come and get them out.
And with code enforcement as well.
Yeah,
Yeah, they have that in their rule. We don't, this district does not have anything. So as we sit here today, our lifeguards cannot, I mean, they could, but there's nothing, in the city of Destin saying that firefighters can go ahead and enforce the, double red flags or kick people off the beach or cite them for anything like that.
how do we go about doing that?
I believe that's at the city level. They have to pass an ordinance to give you the authority to code enforcement and the firefighters or lifeguards if they wish to, with that authority.
I'm
And it wouldn't be a
right
criminal,
now.
it wouldn't be a criminal infraction, or the sheriff can do that,
Yeah.
but the city could give the authority to code enforcement and the district to cite them with civil citations, which is what they're doing in Walton County right
Well,
now.
Panama City does it too.
Yep.
They can, do it. Same thing.
We should be able to.
That's interesting to explore. That's great.
It will make a difference. We're not where those folks are at, but that day will only, it's not like we're getting less people coming, right? There's only gonna be a matter of time before we can only keep that at bay, no pun intended. So that.
Thank you for the update.
Yeah, one more question. I mean, doesn't the city regulate the beach vendors?
Yes.
They
Why
do.
couldn't they regulate that if you're gonna be out on the beach working, you gotta have a flag up?
That's
And
what
if
we're-
it's not up, you're gonna lose your license.
That's what I've recommended, and it seems to have traction.
Okay.
I'm hoping.
I mean, it's just.
Well, I believe you'll get
PVC
that.
pole with a flag on it.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah, I believe you'll get that.
It's the consistency.
So that's a good thing,
uniformity.
Jack.
It's the consistency and uniformity that Joe's trying to address. So they'll run flags, some of them run flags, and then they just don't want all, some of them don't want to run the same flags we run. So what that committee's trying to develop is that uniformity.
Yes.
So that when we're running reds, they're running reds. When
Right.
we're running doubles, they're running doubles, is what we're trying to accomplish with that committee. And we do have contacts, so your question, one part of it was about our ability to be able to reach out to them on radio. We have the ability to contact the sheriff's office. And that's how they get notified when different things going on when we identify it. And we actually use them currently. Joe can correct it if I misspeak, but we utilize the sheriff's office as that leverage. So when we become persuasive, and Joe says we're pretty persuasive, it's because we kind of come in there as, hey, look, you really need to do this. And then we kind of lay it down. And when they kind of give us that opposition, we say, hey, we're just trying to help you out because the guy that's got the badge and the gun's going to be showing up here shortly, and he's going to write you a ticket. You might have to end up going to jail, blah, blah, blah. They normally comply. So without us having to do it, so we kind of use them as that leverage angle now. And I think where Joe's going, at some point, it's going to become untenable for that to be the answer, and we might have to step into more of that enforcement aspect. But for right now, we're able to kind of utilize the sheriff's office to say, that's a strong arm. We're the softer arm, gaining voluntary compliance to make this happen. But if you don't, the guy with the badge and the gun is going to come down, he's going to give you a ticket. And that has worked for us quite a bit, where we've been able to get that voluntary compliance.
I would like to get as proactive as we can right now before we even think about that. So if you don't mind calling me afterwards, I'll be more than happy to help you with that.
Yeah, great.
Thank you.
So that's the step we're taking to do.
Yeah,
Give the city and this.
we don't need that publicity over there. We don't need that. We're very proactive right now. We don't. Yeah, I'll help you with this.
Yeah, we can get that committee to get those things accomplished. I think
Yes.
that's a long way.
I agree. Well, thank you, Joe.
Thanks.
You're welcome.
Good discussion.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate it, guys. All right, moving into training report. Chief?
Yes, sir, you'll see they accomplished 22 hours in last month. You'll see that EMS was 2. You saw we had them out doing some boat training for 8 hours, so we kind of rotated them in and out to be able to get that boat training in. and pre-fire plans, some other training, elevator operations, truck, department reviews and those kind of things, and the pre-fire plans where they were out for a couple hours, reviewing, different facilities. But overall, 22 hours is pretty good for the busy month of July. And July is one of our, if not the busiest month.
Excellent.
Thank you.
Any questions? No. Inspection report.
Yes, sir. Mr. Chairman, you got the report in front of you there. Just a couple little side notes on it. The Charles, still moving forward slowly. Microtel, the same thing, moving forward slowly. The Destin High School is totally finished and open today. So all of that.
They were pretty quick on that. I drove by today and I guess maybe it's been up, but they put a fence around it and everything.
Yes,
They look nice.
Good.
It's sad that we have to have that fence around it.
All the schools.
Yeah, just sad.
So, other than that, at the last meeting, the board had asked for to see in some of the code violations as far as the re-inspections. So you have that list in front of you there, that we pulled that from 8/1 of 20 to 8/1 of 21. So you can kind of see the breakdown of what codes and stuff were cited. The exits, the main one with the highest number there, and the next one behind that is the fire extinguisher being tagged and updated and stuff and all too. So
That's your typical top two.
yeah, and then you can look down and see the breakdown of the rest of them as far as the emergency lighting, the automatic sprinkler system, means of egress as far as blocked exits, trash chutes that you weigh in a lot with the condoms and stuff. So fire alarm systems and all.
Do y'all find a lot of grills on the balconies? I see that you find some here.
We do. We have quite a few of them. The
Gas
people-
grills or charcoal?
Both.
Really?
You come down and you pay all that money for that condo and stuff, and all you want to cook a steak out there, or hamburgers and stuff, so they go and get their grill and put it out there, so.
That's
If
good.
you have any other questions on the violations, I can get with you if you like.
Well, thank you for the report, man.
Yeah, I like the document.
Now, I can't take credit for it. Travis actually pulled it since I was on vacation, so I'll give credit to Travis on that one, so.
You notice that's the first time I've ever given you credit?
I know, and I had to.
And he has to give it to the inspector, that's pretty good.
That's the last time, man.
I did.
Going to Travis from now on.
Yeah, the commission had asked at the last meeting, that's right, and the commission asked at the last meeting about what was, majority of the
Right.
rationale behind why we had to go back. So I had asked Travis if he could put that together for me,
Nice
so
job.
Matt could present it the next meeting.
Nice job.
All right, moving into overtime report, Chief.
Yes, sir, you'll see in the month of July, as I kind of prepped the board a little bit, that's a transition month for us. Our firefighters, the four that are in class, graduated this past Friday. And we knew that when we opened the station, that would require us to ensure that 3 trucks are always up and staffed. But yet we had to make sure that those folks were still able to get to their class and finish out that last month of school. So within this month, we ended up spending quite a bit because those folks had to be gone, as well as there were other vacations going on, sick leave and those kind of things. So we ended up having 328 hours of overtime. What you'll see is different 24-hour blocks. So you'll see a 24s and a couple of people were able to work 48s. Those weren't concurrent. That was just different times in a month. So after this month, I think it will go back to what we've been seeing, where we might see half an hour, a couple hours in a month. But we knew this was coming. We knew it was kind of convergence of a lot of stuff, trying to get the station open, guys trying to finish up paramedic school, and paramedics. So there were 3 things that all kind of converged within that one month.
So it's all legit.
Absolutely. And like I said, it should go back down. I think we'll still see a little bit in August, only because they still have 2 class days left. But after that, I think September. I think by our August report in September, you'll see the numbers come back significantly.
Are you having any issues with people not accepting overtime? Because I see a lot of blanks. And then some with quite a few hours.
Yes. So overall, overtime, as compared to slots, we're hiring 4. So there were some open slots that need to be filled, which also contributes to the overtime. Because we got a couple of people in school, we got a slot open, we got a few things going on. So when that kind of occurs, we got to run through that list. Overtime in and of itself typically is less expensive than an employee and all the benefits that go along with it. But that's only good for a short period of time. So over a long period of time, you burn your employees out. There's all the negative stuff that goes along with overtime, but it's not necessarily always the cost if you're comparing that against a person. So have I seen it? Yeah. You'll see some burnout. You'll see some people who just don't want to work it. And then you'll see some that might pick up one here and there, but really don't want to work a lot. And then you'll have those that'll say, I'll pick up 3 shifts so I can get 72 hours in a month, no problem. And then you'll say some that go, no, I don't really want to do it, so I'll pass on it and let someone else do it. So yeah, that's it. Oh, well, July is.
Yeah, this time of year, I see it.
I'm just curious because
Yeah, you'll see quite a few. They all
look
get
at the
offered it.
balance and you see everybody pretty much getting it. And then you see this month where there's a lot of open spots and a lot of people getting the hours. So
You will see that, and very, very observant, you'll see that there's quite a few that go, no, I'm okay. And I'll pick it up.
Yeah, I get it.
All right, good. Any other questions on overtime report? All right, moving into the minutes, entertain a motion for the regular meeting on July 13th, special meeting on July 28th, and a special meeting on August 4th.
I move that we approve the minutes of our meetings on July 13th, 28th, and August 4th.
I got a motion and a second. Any deletions, additions, changes? Seeing none, let's take a vote. All in favor? Unanimous. All right, moving into the financial report, July 30th, 2021.
Yes, sir. Unfortunately, Miss Catherine went home sick today. And hopefully she'll be back in tomorrow, but she's not here to be able to present the report. But I will say that you do have her notes as she presents each month in front of you. She talks about the background, the view of financial reports, and she kind of gives her bullet points to it. And her motion and our request to approve the financial report as is presented.
I move that we approve the financial statements as of July 31st.
Second.
I got a motion to approve in a second. Any further discussion? Seeing none, take a vote. All in favor? Unanimous.
This looks really strong.
That's a great job.
Note that we're ready to pay some construction bills.
Hey,
We're on, yes, sir. We
All right,
are.
well, that takes us to the next one, the old business, West End District Station update.
Yes, sir. We've been, I know, as a committee, we've been busy making sure that we're getting everything established and set up, and I know that we'd like to report to the board and ask for some permission to move forward. If that's okay, I'll turn it over to Commissioner Buckingham and let him kind of brief where we are on that to move forward. But I will say some of the other small projects are still working forward. It's just taking a bit of time for the production of some things, and Liz being one, the other being the temporary garage that we're looking to put forward. We've made contact with both. They're both in the process of being there. They're just not moving quite as fast as we'd hoped, but they're still in the production. So we're staying on top of it. We're contacting them routinely every week to make sure that, is it there, where are we at, still in production, that kind of thing. But as far, after our last meeting, I know that I mentioned, and the three of us had discussed that during our meeting, I said there was cramped quarters that they're currently living in. And they may have to live in them a little bit longer than we kind of anticipated. When we met, this committee met, Commissioner Buckingham, I don't want to put words in his mouth, but he corrected me. But when we met, he had a concern, and when he expressed it about those folks staying in that, maybe we change a little of our approach. And the three of us agreed in changing that approach to take the current Bay House and put it as a priority remodel, and then kind of move forward with that. We've been working on that, and that's why I was saying after turn to Commissioner Buckingham, because I know we've been talking, but as the commission's representative, it'd probably be great if Commissioner Buckingham would agree.
Well, based on 2 firefighters I've talked to, that was exactly the right thing to do.
Exactly.
It is.
I'm down there a lot, and they're going, is it done?
Yeah.
Is it done?
They are.
They rubbing elbows, in other words, right?
Yeah, so with all that said, I think originally we were discussing that, you know, the garage should be somewhere around $1 million and the remodel no more than 250, you know, and blah, 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 blah. Well, our little committee got together and I met with a gentleman, Bob Black, who's a contractor here that's been here forever. Well-known gentleman. Bob had been talking with him up in the previous, before I got involved. Anyway, long story short, Bob and I worked real hard this last couple of weeks of getting some bids on.
Black. I'm sorry, only because we got Commissioner Bob Wagner.
Yeah.
Just want to make sure it was
Yeah,
you.
Bob
We've been
Black.
working with Bob Black. so.
I've been working with Bob Black, and,
We get clarification.
yeah, we've been able to, yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
We've been able to come up with some pricing, some bids to, so I can present some numbers tonight to y'all. We do have a gentleman working on the plans as we speak. I did meet with the city, and explain to the city what we were trying to do. And the city was very, very helpful. You know, one of their main concerns is a life safety plan, which we're working on that immediately. And the sprinkle the building. You know, and I met with Matt on that, and, you know, look, the bottom line is it's commercial and they sleep in it. We need to sprinkle the building. So
Absolutely.
outside the sprinkle the building is something separate. I have met with BNC. I've worked with BNC for, 25 years when being in the utility business with sprinkle system, because I was the one that would actually put the system in and they would put it in the building. With all that said, Mark is working on some numbers now. One of my big concerns is when the temporary building gets here, I made a suggestion, instead of putting it up front next to the little house, putting it on the right side as you come up, put it back in the back. Let's get the remodel done. The guys are gonna be in it for a while. We get to use the whole right side, and then construction for the housing, for the garage stays on the left side, doesn't bother anybody. So with all that said, the numbers that Bob and I have come up with, excluding appliances, because we don't know what appliances we want to use yet. But that's to redo the bathroom, showers in both, the bed, what do you call it?
The bunk rooms.
Bunk rooms.
Yeah, and a locker room.
Everything, new kitchen, everything, including his fee, including permitting. I don't see us exceeding $160,000. Yeah, so the numbers look good. I would like to say that we would like to move forward as much as possible to actually get working on the permitting process, because that's going to take us a few weeks. But I don't see it exceeding 160. Turnkey, that's everybody's, that's the contractor's fee, everything included, excluding BNC and appliances.
BT about 21,000.
Mark and I had a talk, and I came up with a really good idea, not to pat myself on the back, but, Mark's having the same problem as everybody else right now. He subs that out to a site utility contractor. Of course, I told him, me being a commissioner, I can't do that. But what I could do is I could get a hold of a buddy of mine that does directional boring, get on the other side of the street. On the other side of the street, I met with Steve at Destin Water Users. They have a 6-inch cast iron water line, which is a little unusual. Most of them are PVC, but being it's cast iron, we'll get up underneath it and shoot a directional bore to go all the way to point B where we want to stop.
Also, when I think,
Bingo.
Wow.
Yeah. Now, it might be $5, $6, $7, $8 more per foot, but when you're looking at 400 foot and you don't disturb anything, meaning
you
the
still
guys get to park on it every single day, why he's directional bore, you get to use it. You can be on top of it, no matter. So I'm getting a price back on the directional bore. Once we get that, then BNC will give me a price on what it's going to take to sprinkle the inside of the building and make the tie-in at the water line, which I got Destin Water Users to commit. Thanks to these guys, they're good guys with us. They're BNC will supply the material, they'll make the tap and everything for us. So
Question.
that's big.
Yeah, question. Do we need to sprinkle the little building since we're gonna be
We're not
utilizing
gonna be
that?
sleeping there.
No,
We're
we're
not
not
gonna be any.
Just only when we're sleeping.
Right.
Right.
We have to have-
It's, the code is gonna call for, and fire marshal can
Right.
can verify it, but I can Code's gonna call for a fire station, which is gonna be the garage. But then it's also, because they sleep there, regardless how you define it, because they're sleeping there, we're gonna have to do it. Now, you could quantify that any way you want. There's a couple of ways we could go with that, but either way, it doesn't matter, it's still gonna have to be sprinkled.
Okay, I just wanted to
But
make
not the
sure
little
since we
building.
were there.
No, and this particular
That's
line is
temporary.
gonna be designated nothing but for fire protection.
That's right.
We have adequate, and I checked with Destin Water users, we have 2 meters out there now. We have adequate water, adequate volume, adequate pressure, for the bay house, for the 2 showers and for the guys now. So we'll leave what we have existing for potable water, and then the new system will be for sprinkler, Thank you. Yeah. So
That's a lot of work,
if this board,
thanks.
I'm sorry.
That's a lot of work you did. Thank you.
Yeah, but if this board would, I would love to have a little bit of an idea of allowing us to move forward, because we got a lot of work to do prior to pulling the trigger and going to construction. But if this board would accept the 160 range and allow us to move forward, there's a lot of work that's got to be done.
So,
Absolutely.
I agree.
Well, all I have to say is, that sounds reasonable.
Yeah,
I
it
mean,
is
I've seen some remodels in homes.
Oh, yeah, that's good.
Over that, and we're doing a lot of work.
So do we need a motion on this, Chief?
Yes, sir, please.
Okay.
And he did.
Oh, okay.
And he seconded it.
Okay, good.
Okay.
Do I
So
vote
I was just discussing,
Okay.
so,
Absolutely, you get both.
Yeah.
Okay.
anybody else got anything? Okay, let's take a vote, all in favor?
All right, great, thank you, we'll move forward.
Unanimous, good job, Mike. Thanks.
Good.
Anything else, Chief, on that?
Thank you. Thanks,
No, sir.
DC, too.
No, sir, that's what we needed to appreciate, that's what we needed was, advice for that. Because now that we know what the number generally we're looking at, that's gonna be able to allow us to move forward.
Okay.
With the board's approval.
You got
So I will work with Bob tomorrow, Bob Black, and I'll ask him to get some paperwork together and get it to me, and I will bring it in front of the chief, and we'll move forward.
So everything being writing, right?
Oh, yeah, oh, most
Okay.
definitely. Oh, we'll have it in writing, yeah, most definitely.
DC's gonna check it out.
Yeah, yeah, DC will
That
check
will
it
be in writing.
out. All right, thank you. That's all I have for the West End.
The bridge to quiet order.
All right, moving into new business, utilization of the reserve funds.
Thanks, Mike.
Chief.
Yes, sir, I believe, we've explained this in the past about being able, once the loan proceeds come in, be able to make those adjustments. Those what's being presented tonight, you'll see it in the table that's laid out there, how we're going to make those adjustments. But the proceeds come in, and then use of impact fees. So, we would need the board's approval to make this, adjustment that you have with you.
So the short stroke is we self-financed, waiting on the proceeds, and now the proceeds will pay us back. So everything's out of either the loan proceeds or the impact fees.
Yes, sir, absolutely. It pulls it off our reserves.
Like it?
Second.
Oh, okay.
I got a motion to approve, second of the
Yeah.
Reserve transfer.
Yep.
Any further discussion? Seeing none, take a vote, all in favor, unanimous. And thanks, Chief. All right, moving into budget workshop for 2021-2022 fiscal year.
Yes, sir, as you'll see in Ms. Wagner's notes there, there's really been no change. It's the same budget that, the summary of it is the same budget we presented in the past. There's been no changes. There may be. So Ms. Catherine and I's recommendation is that if there's nothing that the board would like to see changed, that we'll make a presentation at the meeting, the tentative budget hearing that we have coming up.
Oh, the budget workshop on the 17th, that was coming up.
Right, and we'll have another board meeting, so we'll be able to kind of show in that board meeting, but we don't anticipate anything. There are a couple, our mid chief has brought a couple of items to our attention. He and I have had discussions. There may be some adjustment in the budget. However, whatever the expense is that he's anticipating will be offset with grant funds. So there may be a minor adjustment in reserves to utilize if we get a 75-25 grant, but it's not going to be a significant, well, I'm talking about maybe $33,000. It's not a lot of money. And I say that $33,000 is a lot of money, but it's only going to be offset with grant money. At the most, the board will come out will be 25%. So we'll make that adjustment. If it doesn't happen, the grants don't come through, then the purchases, the expenses aren't made. So you might see something like that come forward. He and I need to have some further conversation about it. But that's the only thing we're anticipating to change.
All right, moving in the storage agreement.
So do we have the budget workshop on the 17th? Or not?
Says it
Yeah, that's the tentative in September, because the next
Well,
one,
that's, no.
oh, we're talking about, oh, I'm sorry,
We
no,
don't
we're
need that
asking,
one.
we're asking to skip that one.
Okay.
If that's
All right.
okay. Unless the board sees otherwise. I'm sorry, Mr. Woodstock.
Thank you.
Yes, sir, thank you for your.
It doesn't sound like we need it.
Well, that's what, yeah, I was gonna say, talking about the 17th? Okay, moving into the storage agreement with Oklahoma County.
Yes, sir, the county needed to, for the turtle program, needed to have somewhere to be able to store in Crystal Beach area, a, side-by-side, is it not, Joe, or is it a four-wheel?
It's a four-wheeler.
Okay,
ATV.
so need somewhere to store a ATV. So they asked us if they could store it at our facility. As they have done with us many times, that's always a agreement adjustment. So we told them that they need to bring something to us to adjust our agreement so that we can have that in writing, that they were going to store it at our facility at no cost or expense to us and that kind of thing. So they did. That's the agreement you have. We've reviewed it, DC's reviewed it. It's good to go, have no problems with it. But I feel like anytime we ask them, they always submit that to us. I thought it was only appropriate that when they wanted to utilize that, and we didn't have a problem with utilizing the facility, that it was part of our agreement that we change.
Well, I like the fact too, it's got what the vehicle is and the VIN number and all that stuff.
That was
So
DC's absolute
Yeah.
recommendation.
Well, that's a
All
great
that,
idea.
Spell it out.
So we need a motion?
Yes, sir, please do.
I'll make the motion.
Second.
I got a motion and a second to approve the storage agreement with Oklahoma County. Any discussion? Seeing none, take a vote, all in favor? Unanimous? All right.
Could I ask a,
Yes, sir.
that just triggers a thought, man. We haven't heard about the adjacent property that.
Right, what is that?
I think storage, that's the first thing I think about.
Me too.
I agree. Oh, yeah. I can tell you that property is, as we talked about when we first brought this up, that property is valuable to us. Might not be to anybody else,
Right.
but it is to us for a lot of reasons. Storage, parking, it's valuable to us. And I know DC mentioned something that he had conversations with Whitney before. And it's still moving through the legal process, but he might be able to clarify further if he's heard anything.
You look tired of the topic.
Unfortunately, there's not much more to clarify.
Well, as long as nobody else is getting a stab at it before us.
No,
It's not good to anybody else.
It's tied up with the courts right now and service, different parties and motions. Now COVID's ramping back up and Florida Supreme Court has new orders about who can go to the courtroom now. So, it's nothing that Ms. Smith is doing or nothing we can do. We're waiting for her just to go through the motions. And again, to echo what she said, I mean, Whitney said that district, he was gonna cut the district. Once we get a ruling from the judge.
Awesome, good.
Those that
Thank you.
take control, want to sell it to us. It's just a matter of going through the legal process.
Thank you.
Well, about our time. All right, moving into our next scheduled meeting, which will be a special meeting, August 18th, if we need that one.
Yes, sir, if we need. Yeah, we won't know, we'll see how things go with the property, and if we need further board guidance or direction, we'll have the meeting. If not, we'll cancel it.
I think I got enough guidance tonight. I think we'll be good for the next week or two.
I think so. I think we'll be moving forward a lot.
Right.
We'll be in a lot of conflict.
So do you want to go ahead and cancel that one?
I'm good with that.
Yeah,
Or just leave it on?
Leave it there in case I need you.
Okay.
Just in case I need you. for
All
something.
right, and that meeting would be at 9 a.m. on August 18th. Okay, and then if we have to cancel, we'll cancel. All right, anything else come from this board? See you then.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
We'll call you Thursday. I'm off tomorrow.